So the newest episode of Miraculous Ladybug Season 4 Optigami was just released, and when I saw the episode, I just had to give my thoughts and opinions on it. So many different things happen within this one episode that I believe can cause major drama between Cat Noir and Ladybug, and even cause Alia to be in more danger than she's ever been in before. But before we get into the video, you guys, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And I know that this is the first review video that I've done for Miraculous Ladybug since I know so many episodes have been released. But don't worry, I will review the other episodes very soon. But guys, with that being said, let's get into this video. So in the beginning of the episode, we see Natalie and Gabriel sitting down talking about the Miraculous holders. And this was all thanks to last season when Chloe was akumatized and turned into Miracle Queen. She helped Hawkmoth figure out who owned which Miraculous. Now, when these events had occurred, Natalie had created a sentient monster called Optigami, which she used to help figure out who Ladybug is. So fast forward a bit into the episode, we see Alia, Marinette, and all the classmates together at the Style Queen Magazine Awards that will be rewarded to Adrian. Now, this scene in the episode really made me laugh as we see everyone else was getting into the elevator, of course, except Kim because we know how he is, and Marinette not wanting to go into the elevator because Adrian is there. And just when she's legit trying her hardest not to get into the elevator, we see Alia just trying her best to push Marinette in, and then we see Adrian have that goofy smile on his face. We also see Luca in the background, how he's just smiling, but like what really caught me was seeing Adrian's face just have this nice, happy, dopey little face that he has at Marinette, and I'm like, he's starting to fall for Marinette, and I'm so happy because of that. That scene just made me laugh. So throughout the episode, we notice Alia and Nino doing their special handshake and how this was so important to this episode. If Marinette did not notice them doing this handshake, she would have not been able to defeat the sentient monster at the end of that episode, which we will talk about more later on. So Shadow Moth then heads into the restroom and decides to make a sentient monster of Alex. This sentient monster is a complete replica of Alex, and he goes out and completely is rude to Audrey, calling her old, calling her ugly, and in doing this, once again, we have Style Queen. I also liked when Audrey was being akumatized, when Hawkmoth was going through his regular I am Shadow Moth, Audrey was just like, I've heard all of this, just give me back my power so I can go ahead and do what I have to do. That part really made me laugh because Audrey is like, I don't want to hear it, let me go do what I have to do. Now, once Audrey has turned into Style Queen and is turning everyone into glitter, this part in the episode really stood out to me and why I believe that Kagami really deserves better and how she deserves the world is because right when Style Queen was going to turn Chloe and Adrian into glitter, Kagami throws the chair at her and tells Adrian to run. And of course, unfortunately, Kagami turns into glitter afterwards. This was so good because we all know what happened in the episode prior on how Kagami and Adrian broke up, even though they were together for less than a couple of episodes and then all of a sudden they broke up. That's a whole different story, but Kagami really truthfully deserves the world. Even despite that, what they went through together, she still goes ahead and helps Adrian. That was just one of the best parts of this episode that I just had to say. And of course, while all of this is happening, Natalie is on her computer giving feedback to Gabriel, telling him what all Miraculous holders have and haven't been wiped out. We then go further into the episode where we see Adrian going into the elevator about to tell Plague Claws out, but then, without even realizing, Marinette comes into the elevator without even knowing Adrian was there and was about to tell Tiki spots on. I froze a little bit at that moment because I was like, oh my god, they legit almost just revealed themselves to each other. That would have been extremely bad, but also funny at the same time. And of course, with both of them almost transforming in front of each other, they both make up excuses to what almost just happened. Now with Max almost getting everyone out of the building, unfortunately, Style Queen turns the entire building into gold, allowing no one to escape. She then finds Alex and the rest of the people who he was trying to save and unfortunately turns them all into glitter, letting another miraculous holder bite the dust. Now I know the part that we've all been waiting for, the Adrianette moment in the elevator. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, when I was seeing this scene, I did not get my hopes up at all about seeing a big reveal, because due to previous episodes, of course, and how the season has been going, or the seasons have been going, I really didn't see a big reveal happening. Honestly, I didn't expect it to happen because to me it would just be too soon, or the timing or the atmosphere, as you guys could see, it just isn't right. I just had a gut feeling that it would not take place in this episode. Due to Marinette and Adrian being stuck in the elevator and neither of them being able to transform, Marinette then texts Alia saying that she's stuck in the elevator with Adrian. Alia, of course, teases Marinette about it, but then realizes how is Marinette going to transform into Ladybug and defeat Style Queen. Alia then asks Marinette what is she going to do. Marinette then responds and said that she has to be alone, of course, in order for her to transform. And this is where things get a little bit sticky, as I said, and where potential drama could actually happen not only between Ladybug and Cat Noir, I'm going to speak about that a bit later, but between Alia and Nino. Because as Alia says that she's going to go give Ladybug a signal to know where they are, Nino of course says that, you know, I'm coming with you because they're together. And unfortunately, Alia has to make up an excuse to go ahead and figure out how she can get Marinette out of the elevator. The reason why I said that this is going to be a bit of a trouble, or is going to be trouble in future episodes, is because now that Alia knows Marinette is Ladybug, she is going to be subjected to the same thing that Marinette, of course, has to go through now, or has been going through for a very long time, which is, of course, lying. She needs to lie, of course, mainly because she needs to protect Marinette's secret as Ladybug. And this, of course, may damage Alia and Nino's relationship, just like Marinette and Luca and Kagami and Adrian. It's just going to be a constant process of lying to protect one's identity. And why I said that this is going to be a problem in future episodes between the two. We see, I'm not too sure what his name was. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, you guys. Remind me in the comments below. Adrian's fan and Luca in the vents trying to escape the building any which way they can. But unfortunately, Style Queen caught my boy Luca and both of them got glittered. Without anyone else to turn to, Marinette then calls the Kwamis on a private number so she could tell them in the situation that they're in. While she's on the phone talking with them, she's trying to speak with them in a Morse code type of way in order for Adrian to not figure out what she's trying to talk to the Kwamis about. She then says that Khalip needs to use her portal in order to help Marinette get out of the elevator. But unfortunately, Optigami comes into the elevator, spying on Adrian and Marinette, and Adrian pulls Marinette, trying to warn her that Optigami was in the elevator, spying on both of them. So once Marinette sees this, she ends the call with the Kwamis. The pressure between the two really starts to get going in the elevator. Even I felt that when I was watching this part of the episode, as both Adrian and Marinette are trying to figure out what are they going to do. They need to transform. They need to go help each other in order to defeat Style Queen. And in the midst of everything, both of them turn towards each other at the same time, saying that they had something to tell each other. Luckily, Natalie tells Gabriel that it's only Adrian and Marinette in the elevator, and Optigami backs off to go see something else. Unfortunately, this is where things start to backfire. Now, Marinette had told Alia to call the super secret number that she uses to speak to the Kwamis, but remember, Alia left Nino alone, and Alia declined Nino's call when she needed to call the Kwamis. This, of course, allowed Nino to get worried about Alia and went to go look for her. And unfortunately, while Nino was looking for Alia, he got turned into glitter by Style Queen. Now, Marinette told Alia that she needs to go to her house in order to get Trex and transform into Rena Rouge. and for her to help her defeat Style Queen. Now, Hawkmoth was very, very smart in this episode. I would have to say that he was the smartest in this episode than most, because out of all the Miraculous holders that was left that wasn't turned to dust, Nino was the last one. But of course, no one knew that Nino was turned to dust. So Hawkmoth creates a Senti monster to look exactly like Nino. Now, the Senti monster Nino is calling out to Alia, trying to lead her into a trap, and thankfully, Kalki was able to make a portal in order to transport Alia to Marinette's room in order to get the Miraculous. Not gonna lie, Kalki was the major Kwami in this episode. It was really thanks to her that many of the things that needed to get done in this episode was able to get done, simply thanks to her. Now being safe in Marinette's room, Alia transforms into Rena Rouge and also takes the Bee Miraculous with her that Marinette asked her to get, in order for her to become Lady Bee, as we saw in previous trailers. But before Alia leaves Marinette's room, she takes the Turtle Miraculous with her, as she was thinking of Nino. The Kwamis do ask her, did Marinette ask her to do it? But Alia simply says, just in case. After leaving Marinette's room and being the smart person that Alia is, she creates a mirage for Style Queen to deal with while Alia tries to get Marinette out of the elevator with Adrien so she can give her the Miraculous. Now, this is the part in the episode where things got a bit scary, because Alia then gives Senti Monster Nino the Miraculous, and Optigami then hides in the Miraculous as Natalie and Gabriel continue on with their plan. Alia then transports into the elevator with Marinette and Adrien and quickly takes Adrien out so Marinette can quickly transform. Once they do that and Adrien is on the roof, Adrien sees the building over there in the distance that Style Queen has taken over, and he quickly transforms into Cat Noir. Now, with Adrien out of the elevator, Marinette was able to transform into Ladybug and then takes Tiki and Pollen, transforming into Lady Bee. And I have to say, when I saw Lady Bee's design, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the mask. I love Marinette's hair. I love everything about the costume. It's just absolutely beautiful to me. Now, once Alia and Lady Bee are seeing Style Queen and Alia's Mirage fighting one another, Marinette sees Carapace in the distance, and she's wondering, how did, Carapace get the Miraculous? And Alia tells Lady Bee that I gave him the Miraculous, just in case. Lady Bee, of course, looking a little bit upset at Rena Rouge because she didn't know that Rena Rouge gave Nino the Miraculous to turn into Carapace, but Lady Bee, of course, has a job to do, and she completely takes it off and says, you know what, I may be able to use Carapace in order to defeat Style Queen. So Lady Bee, Rena Rouge, and Carapace are fighting Style Queen, and Lady Bee uses her venom to immobilize her, thus making Style Queen go back to Audrey Bourgeois. Now, during the fight scene, I did see when Carapace was helping Lady Bee, I did find that a bit surprising, because I thought that around that time that when Lady Bee told Carapace to shelter her when she was trying to go against Style Queen, that I thought Carapace was actually just going to do something completely different. I thought he wasn't going to help her, but then in order for Gabriel and Natalie's plan to work, they need Lady Bee and Rena Rouge to say, hey, this is the real Nino, this isn't a Senti monster. As Style Queen was just defeated, Cat Noir is ready for the fight. He's about to cataclysm the building, only to find that the building is back to normal and that he was too late. Now, going a bit towards the end of the episode, we see Alia and Nino give Ladybug back their Miraculous, but Ladybug is, of course, very confused about not using her Lucky Charm, because we all know that when she uses her Lucky Charm, everything is fixed, and she didn't need to use it to defeat Style Queen. But she is so smart in this episode, especially because her Lucky Charm is, of course, a mirror, and when she was about to say Lucky Charm and throw it into the air, she looked back at Nino and Alia. And if you guys paid attention throughout the episode, you would have noticed Alia and Nino's handshake. When Alia put her hand up in order to do the handshake, Nino didn't do it. He simply just gave her back a high five. And that was the trigger point that LadyBug knew that something was wrong. She then became super suspicious of Nino, and then discovering that Nino was actually a senti monster, making Gabriel and Natalie be in utter shock, trying to figure out how did LadyBug know that Nino was a senti monster. Thankfully, however, Cat Noir still had his cataclysm and he was able to touch the Miraculous, letting Optigami fly out of it and Marinette being able to do her thing. Now, we come at the end of the episode where we see Alia and Marinette sitting in their room talking about the events of today. And Alia, of course, feeling extremely guilty and extremely sad. She almost allowed Shadow Moth to discover LadyBug's true identity. Now, this is the part in the episode where I found this to be very interesting, is because instead of Marinette actually telling Alia that she shouldn't have done that or anything, she instead gives Alia the Fox Miraculous permanently. And I found that to be completely interesting. I do agree, however, that it's really good that Marinette did tell Alia that she was LadyBug, because if she didn't, today would have been extremely difficult within the episode, because Marinette heavily depended on Alia in order for her to transform into LadyBug and for them to defeat Style Queen. This is a lesson I really believe that Alia needs to take to heart, because due to Alia's decision, she really almost let Shadow Moth discover who LadyBug truly is. So I do believe that this is a lesson that Alia really needs to take to heart and really take in, is that unless Marinette says, hey, to give a Miraculous to someone, don't do it, because a prime example, as I said, is what happened today. But the biggest thing that we really need to think and really speak about is not the cute Adrianette moment that was in the elevator, not just Alia almost allowing Shadow Moth to discover LadyBug's true identity, is that now Alia is in more danger than she's ever been before, especially now that Shadow Moth and Natalie really know who Alia is, and they're going to be keeping a close eye on her more than ever. Since Natalie and Gabriel only thought that LadyBug and Cat Noir were the people who gave out Miraculouses, now they know that Alia does it, and that she's a very important person to LadyBug. And even made things a little bit worse now, since Marinette decided to give Alia the Fox Miraculous permanently. So I know there's going to be many different ideas, many different plans that Gabriel and Natalie are going to come up with. Now they know that Alia and LadyBug are more closer than ever before. I know I said before in the beginning of the video that I was going to explain why I believe the events that are happening with Alia would cause Cat Noir and LadyBug to have drama. I decided to put that in a different video since it doesn't really reflect and talk about what's happening in Optigami, so I'll be releasing that in a different video right after this one. But guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to like and comment if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to put your thoughts and opinions about what you thought about this episode in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay awesome.